Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. Y'all up? What y'all doing? It's 10:30 a.m. I've told y'all before that I follow this TikToker. I'm a little bit on the messy side of TikTok. And she says, "Hey, friends." Well, she says, "Hey, friends. It's 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Get out the bed. We got stuff to do." So I'm up. Y'all need to get up too, unless you're working overnight and getting your rest. Or you know what? You may have worked all week and just want to rest today. You can do that too. You deserve it. I'm going back and forth on whether or not I'm going to work today. I was supposed to attend a big couples get together today, but it's being rescheduled. So now I'm just kind of figuring out what I'm going to do for the rest of my day. But I knew that I was going to come down here and talk to y'all. So there's been some things that are new coming out that I wanted to talk to y'all about, but also stuff that I've literally had up on my computer since Monday or Tuesday about. I just wanted to see if we could discuss Miss Angela Oakley, and specifically when she talked about, the incident at Madison Square Garden with Charles and how it basically they separated for that she couldn't heal him from that, which newsflash, we can't heal people. Only God or whoever they believe in can do that. We people like we can be there with them on their journey and support, but we can't heal nobody. But I get what she was trying to say. But I've had that pulled up on my computer literally for days, but then different other things have started coming out. So I was like, you know what? I'm glad that I waited so we can talk about it all together. So let's jump right into it. And then I'm going to do another video and we're going to talk about some Beverly Hills stuff. Let's get into Atlanta. Y'all, these housewives come on these shows, and then some of these men that they're with become a storyline or seem like they want peaches too. They want to be house husbands too. Let's get into Drew and Dennis. So we have Drew and Dennis. We know that they're making music together. So did y'all see Dennis' post? If not, let me show it to you. See what he posted. All right, y'all, let's go. So this is what Dennis posted. It says cheaters caught again on the front, y'all. Glancing, who does that look like? Now, I ain't gonna lie. To me, it looks like a mixture of Derwin. Shout out to the game and Ralph. A mixture of Derwin and Ralph. Y'all tell me that's not a mixture of Derwin and Ralph. So it says cheaters. I'm not the only one who thought it looked like Ralph. Ralph himself jumped in the comments. Yo, you wild for trying to exploit me. Didn't you cheat on Porsha while she was pregnant? Y'all gonna make me turn up in a minute. Dennis, invite me on the podcast. I guess we're overdue for a convo. Ralph, done. Let's make it happen soon. Dennis, let's do it. And yes, I did cheat. At Porsha for real, don't even bring that up no more. What day we doing it? Ralph said, I'm happy for y'all Monday. Somebody said, so Porsha responds to Dennis with the little emoji face covering the face. Then somebody says, at Porsha for real, in the words of at Nene. Now, how I get into it. Porsha said, exactly. I don't know. This woman to me looks like a mix of Porsha and Drew. And then this looks like, like I said, this looks like Derwin and Ralph. Why? A part of me, and I think reality TV is such a phenomenon, right? Because it can literally show you the truth of how other people are living, let you see into the lives of people that are authentically sharing their life, but then it could also make you distrustful of the ones who may be sharing their life because you're like, there's too many of y'all that have not shared your life or have produced something or are cooking up stuff offline to put on social media because social media is now so big in reality TV. So before we just had the reality TV and social media didn't have such a presence. I firmly feel like on a lot of these Housewives franchise, social media is another wife, is another main character, right? So there's a part of me that's like, Drew said, Dennis said he had a conversation with Ralph about working with Drew. Did they not talk about what Drew might possibly be singing about? Or did they? But Ralph didn't think there was going to be a paper out there looking like the Wall Street Journal, um, with a man that looks like Derwin and him on the front. Y'all, it's just wild to me that this woman holding this paper looks like Porsha and Drew at the same time. Look in the nose and lip area, in the eye area, y'all. So I'm like, is this real, or is this something they're cooking up to drum up publicity for Drew's album together? Because let's be clear, Ralph may be thinking Drew's success benefits him because, I wonder a little bit. I'm gonna be honest, is the divorce even real? Is all this even real? But they went to court, so I would hope that they weren't trying to put together a storyline that included going to court, filing, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But is all of this right here cooked up? Him and Ralph going back and forth in the comments, and they setting up stuff in the comments. Come on. Now I have strategically, if I've been online with someone that if I see someone online that I want to have as a guest on the podcast, and if I make a comment and they respond back, I'll then slide in. You can come on the podcast and we discuss it. So I can see how that could happen genuinely. But they didn't plan the date. He's supposed to be on Monday. Is this to drum up eyes for Drew's single and for Ralph's podcast? Because people are messy and they may jump on over there to hear what Ralph and Dennis had to say. I don't know. Will y'all be tuned in to Ralph in the Basement with Dennis on there? Y'all let me know. I can't stop looking at that picture. That is Derwin and Ralph. Who the other two? Who the two women on the side? Who they look like, y'all? I don't know. I ain't got nobody. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Was it a scheme that they set up to come to us with the BS? Porsha was on. It almost looks like a version. I don't know if it was Drink Champs or not. I don't think so. But they were asking some questions that she answered for us. So let's get into it. This was a part of the video that I did 2 nights ago that YouTube was like, copyright, because I showed the video. So I'm just going to let y'all listen to her this time. I didn't learn my lesson.
One castmate you have receipts on. Oh, you with your cherry cheeks. Name one castmate you have receipts on that you've never revealed on camera and tell us what they are. Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be receipts, right? And if they were receipts, they have to be shown at reunion, which they will be. So stay tuned. Okay, I say yes. But I'm going to have to take a drink because I'm not going to tell you who the receipts are on, and I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you will know at reunion. I promise you that. Okay, you will absolutely know. Now, I'm going to place that card right there. Okay, come here, girl.
She picked up a drink and said, come here, girl.
Classmates. Who needs the most help with their style? Can I say what the fans say? I don't want to say what I say because sometimes I'll be doing the thing. You know what I mean? The fans come for Shamia. The fans come for Drew sometimes, but I think they both dress. They're expensive. Well, one dress is expensive. One is like fashionable. Who wears the clothes and doesn't let the clothes wear them? That would be Drew. She looks very nice in her clothes. Like she puts it together very well. But Shamia does have that drip. So there's that. So name one castmate you have receipts on. Ooh.
So I just have to say, the first comment was Porsha spelled receipts. We'll wait. I thought that was funny because sometimes it can get tricky, right? I before E except after C. You got to remember all those things that we learned in English. So it can get a little tricky sometimes. So I just thought that was funny. The show I think she was on is called Cheap Shots. So it's interesting what she said about the clothes when she said, can I say who the viewers say? Shamia and Drew. Girl. And then when she said one dress is expensive, one dress is Fashion Nova, they said who? Like who dresses Fashion Nova? She says, who puts the clothes on, who wears the clothes and don't let the clothes wear them? Drew. but Shamia also has that drip. So I thought that was funny. Like, girl, talking about who, let me say what the audience says. Who does she have receipts on? I'm trying to think out of the cast. Kenya, even if Kenya's there, Kenya wasn't on there long enough this season for them to have an issue for her to have receipts on. Her and Britt are kicking it. They haven't filmed the reunion yet. Her, maybe Kelly. I don't know about her and Angela because we haven't really seen her interaction with Angela, and I haven't really seen them say too much about each other in interviews. But I'll tell you what, y'all. I know again that social media and the Housewives has become a thing. They kind of go hand in hand now, right? But I have never, ever seen Atlanta push and be out there peddling the show or push and trying to draw interest in the show as they have this season. Atlanta to me was always that girl in a mysterious way. Storylines were never leaked. Never. We never got what was going on. It really started that season of Cynthia's bachelorette party. I think y'all let me know if y'all remember it starting it sooner. But I feel like leaks started coming from Atlanta that season of Cynthia's bachelorette party when B. Scott posted that Porsha had her peach cobbled. And B. Scott was the first one to break that story, but then I'm just going to say it, non-Black outlets were reposted everywhere and got credit for it, but it was B. Scott. And I remember because I was at the track by my kids' high school jogging and was like, wait, what? When they said Porsha got her peach cobbled, I said, my God, today. So they had dropped that. So that's when I remember stuff being leaked from Atlanta. But y'all let me know if y'all remember a time before that. But now they out here, they post it up. They on every interview. But then again, some of these outlets maybe weren't around then, but I didn't see the Atlanta girls out like that. The Atlanta girls never struck me as the girls that felt like they had to be out here promoting like they are. They were just who they were and they kept it moving. Yes, they did interviews. You know what I mean? Like they went to the bigger outlets, but now it seems like they are everywhere. Every time we look up, somebody's doing an interview, not just the Bravo interview, but like Porsha on Cheap Shots and like they're just everywhere. So I wonder who this person is. The only person I can think of now is either Kelly or Shamia, or Drew, even though she says she's not mad at Drew. Sorry, y'all. She's not mad at Drew anymore. So we shall see. Let's get into some more of Atlanta. So this is what I had stuff that I wanted to talk to y'all about with Angela, right? That I was a little bit confused about, but then more stuff came out the end of the week. So I'm glad that I waited. Angela was on Watch What Happens Live. And she talked a little bit, of course, about the show. And she was being a little shady. Let's get into, if y'all didn't see it, let's get into some of the stuff that she said about some of the ladies, right? So let me get into this. She felt like it was mean girlish for Shamia to not apologize to Angela for her name calling, but apologize to Drew. She said Shamia is like Gretchen from Mean Girls. So, okay. She also said that she doesn't feel like Drew's doing anything wrong working with Dennis. If she didn't know Drew and Dennis were filming together, meaning Porsha, of course, Drew should have talked to her and been like, hey, but Drew told Angela that she told Porsha. Now, it's a little bit confusing because there was one in that first episode, or either to be continued the next week. Drew was like, I told you I was on the phone, but Porsha says no. But then Porsha says, that was after I called you. Then you mentioned Dennis. So which one is it? Did she mention him or not? Because Porsha does say that in one of the episodes. So she asked to assist one of her RHOA castmates. Angela advised Porsha to leave Dennis alone. Why are you clocking what Dennis does with his time and resources? Leave Dennis alone. Okay. Then she told Shamia that she needs to stop shucking and jiving and sit down. I said, now, when somebody says that somebody is shucking and jiving, of course they can shuck and jive when somebody says somebody black is shucking and jiving, of course we know they can be shucking and jiving to black folks, but I immediately think of black folks tap dancing in front of white folks. So is she saying that in that way? I do feel like her saying shucking and jiving, maybe she's saying, because also it makes me think of like a court gesture. You know what I mean? You just up there shucking and jiving and dancing to entertain the folks, like being a clown. So is that what she's saying that Shamia is doing this season? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. She said Shamia needs to stop shucking and jiving and sit down. She said Kelly is loud and just yeah, yeah, yeah. I would just assist Kelly in keeping her mouth shut. Kelly is a little bit louder. And that voice the louder she gets, the voice could get a little high, but I still like Kelly from what I'm seeing now. Then she said, I would assist Britt in helping fend off the haters because they're hating on my girl, Britt. So clearly her and Britt, we don't know what the rest of the season holds, but currently her and Britt are good. So on the after show, Angela was questioned about whether Shamia defending Porsha was lapdog behavior. She said, well, Shamia is a self-professed lapdog. She barks on her own. Y'all, because Shamia did bark when she was on Watch What Happens Live. She said, as far as Shamia taking up for Porsha, that's just what she does. Then she said that she wasn't basically a mouthpiece for Drew. Drew was double teamed. I just couldn't assist her then because my wig, remember her wig was lifting? Here's what I want to get into. On the after show, because Charles was there with her, on the after show, Charles was asked if he was still banned from Madison Square Garden following the 2017 altercation and arrest. He said, not banned, but I haven't been there. So I had pulled up the altercation just so y'all can see it. I hope this doesn't get flagged, because if I have to do this video over again, I'm going to be pissed. But let's get into this. Let me just fast forward toward the part first, because it comes from Good Morning America, ABC. I don't want no, you know what? There's a part of me that wonders if ABC News. Y'all cross your fingers. We'll see. I'm going to show y'all. If not, then I'm going to come back and do the video and be pissed off. But what's the copyright disclaimer? Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if that works. Copyright disclaimer for YouTube. Hold on, y'all, because we going to see. Okay. I'm going to read it. Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all the copyright disclaimer. So as YouTube is going through their stuff, they can see it. YouTube. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, which we're doing, news reporting, which, hello, I'm a journalist like Porsha, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Y'all hear that? YouTube, we're doing this under the allowance of, some can say criticism, comment, and news reporting. All right, y'all. So let's get into what I was going to show y'all. I'm still going to fast forward that part. So here, this is the incident.
Knicks game, former Ford Charles Oakley seen getting into a physical altercation with security guards, and Jesse Palmer is here with.
I got to pause this for a second. I want y'all to watch this. Y'all, Charles Oakley there are people that become more handsome in their older years. Ice Cube is one that I think of. Charles Oakley, because look at him, y'all. He used to look like David Alan Grier when he was on In Living Color. All right, y'all keep watching.
It's more. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning, Michael. That's right. You take a team with a losing season, then add fans blaming the owner, and then top it off with a former player ejected from the stands and charged with assault, and you have mayhem at Madison Square Garden.
He was one of the most physical players in NBA history.
Oakley in his face.
And this morning, former New York Knicks Charles Oakley is
David
making
Allen Greer
headlines again at Madison Square Garden.
Everybody looking over there. Apparently, there's a Charles Oakley over there, Mike.
But this time, it's for causing a melee off the court.
Charles Oakley is involved in something. They need security in a big way.
The 53-year-old suddenly ejected from his seat while watching the Knicks-Clippers game by a swarm of security. The Knicks claim Oakley was ejected after making negative comments to Knicks owner James Dolan.
They were sitting right clear.
And the Knicks organization have not seen eye to eye.
Look at Pat Robinson.
Oakley,
Is that Pat
been
Robinson?
charged with 3 counts of assault, adamantly denies the Knicks allegations, saying he was simply there to support the team.
And I'm like, I've been here 4.5 minutes.
Can I pause that? I said Pat Robinson. What, Corey, what was the name of the Lakers owner? I'm asking him. He's off camera. What was the name of the Lakers? Phil Jackson. That's who it is. Y'all, I don't know why I said it. Pat Robinson. All right. Did y'all see Phil Jackson? All right, let's get into it.
Knicks fan, played here for 10 years. I love the Knicks. I love New York. This is my heart.
Fans showing their support to the man who helped lead the Knicks to the 1994 finals, chanting Oakley, Oakley. And overnight, Oakley was released from custody. His lawyer telling ABC News, "We deny the allegations and will answer them in court."
And he's a beloved player here in New York City.
He is.
Yes.
Yeah, and not the first person ever to be kicked out of a game at Madison Square Garden. It's the first time, though, I've ever seen a former player have to go through that. A lot more to come.
Yeah, stay tuned for that, right?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right. So y'all saw that's what happened, right? Child, wait a minute. Let me hurry up and pause this, child, before a song come on, because that's the last thing we need. All right. So y'all saw that part of it. I want to get into, because so y'all saw what happened. They're saying that the owner who was sitting there said that Charles was making derogatory comments and wanted him out. When security came over, he didn't want to leave because he was like, I wasn't saying nothing. I wasn't doing nothing. They want him to leave. It ends up in a scuffle. They drag him out. He is still currently in a lawsuit with them. And that was, I think, 2017. So I found this article. MSG contends Oakley's attorney rewrote portions of a book manuscript regarding his arrest at the Knicks. So, and this article was just done February of this year. Charles wrote a book. And in the book, he talks about what happened that night, right? Madison Square Garden's attorneys are alleging that Charles' attorney rewrote portions of the manuscript of the former Knicks star's book to tell a fundamentally different story from the truth about the night he was arrested after an altercation at Madison Square Garden. The organization contended in a court filing on Monday. The filing in the U.S. District Court for the Southern District Court of New York. Y'all, the Southern District Court in New York have so many inroads to the Housewives. From Charles and Angela, Charles has a suit, but he's married to now a Real Housewives of Atlanta, Jen Shaw, and her with the Southern District Court of New York. And I think there was somebody else, right? Y'all let me know. So let's see. It says, was the latest step in the dispute between the player and the organization that began February 9th, y'all, 2017, 8 years ago, when Oakley began scuffling with arena security. Not far from Madison Square Garden executive chairman James Dolan, and was eventually let out in handcuffs. Oakley had a poor relationship with the owner, Dolan, after his criticisms of the team, and has brought assault and battery claims against the Knicks owner in a case that continues after twice being thrown out. So Charles had brought 2 cases against them that were thrown out. Now he's pursuing a third. That's a lot of money. The filing Monday contains passages from The Last Enforcer, that's his book, in which Oakley's thoughts had been crossed out and changed by attorney Douglas Wigder before being sent back to the publisher. In one sentence about the altercation, Oakley said he asked security why he had to leave the game against the Clippers and was told, "You have to leave because someone ordered you to leave." The word "someone" was crossed out and replaced by Dolan. In another sentence, Oakley said he slipped. That word was changed to "was eventually pushed down" by Dolan's guys. Those were not minor edits at the margins. Wigder edited the final version to tell a fundamentally different story from the truth reflected in each in each and every one of the earlier drafts of Oakley's autobiography, a truth that would have been fatal to Oakley's litigation position. So basically, they're saying they changed the wording in the book because they knew, he has ongoing litigation. And if they refer back to the book, he can't have had that he was asked to leave and not that he was basically dragged out. So we shall see. The fact that he's still in litigation, y'all, and that happened 8 years ago, and this is his third time. And I brought that up because, again, Charles said at Watch What Happens Live, he wasn't banned. So they're saying he's banned, but then it was Charles Oakley banned from Madison Square Garden, but then he said he's banned but not banned. There was a phone call between Michael Jordan, Charles Oakley, and someone else where they allegedly worked out Charles being able to go back. Let me see. I saw that too. I said, Michael Jordan getting on the line because they're still friends. Phone call between, if I put MJ, they would have thought Michael Jackson and Charles Oakley. And I'm just going to put the Knicks and see, because I just had that. It says, NBA commissioner, a commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver and Michael Jordan, via phone call, participated in a conference call with Charles Oakley and the Knicks owner, James Dolan, who was the one that said Charles Oakley was saying stuff and he wanted him out, to help resolve the disputes, with both sides apologizing for the incident. So there's a phone call with Michael Jordan, the NBA commissioner, Charles Oakley, and the Knicks owner, James Dolan, and they apologized. So I guess, because there's another article, NBA calls on Michael Jordan to broker peace. Okay, Michael, so maybe he's not banned. Maybe he can go back in. But I want to get into something else. So speaking of Charles, this includes Charles. In the episode where we learn more about Angela, what was it, the second episode? We've all talked about this, right? Or we've seen this, but if you haven't, when she names Charles is cooking, she's talking to her oldest daughter, and she says, she names her kids, and she says she has her oldest, and she gives her age, and which was 24. And then she had her daughter, which was 12. Then she says, Charles has Charles Jr., and then our daughter together gave her name and her age. Charles Jr. was the only age they did not give out. If you go back and watch that scene and you pause on it, Charles Jr. looks like a child, not a baby, but to me, he looks between the ages of her 12-year-old daughter and their 7-year-old daughter together. I started Googling just to see if I could see Charles Jr.'s age. When I tell y'all nothing was coming up, there were points where when I would ask who is Charles Oakley's children, they only named the daughter with him and Angela together. Then there were times when they named Charles Jr. and then it would say age unknown. They don't even name that mother. I don't even know if Charles was married before. I want to say he was, but maybe not. I don't know. Because I was reading something that kind of seems like he didn't know it. Well, nothing comes up that he was married before. But anyway, there's nothing that comes up with Charles Jr.'s age that I found. Nothing, right? So people have been talking about this. Of course, people notice like, oh, she named her daughter an age, her other daughter in the age. Charles has Charles Jr., no age. And then her and Charles's daughter together and her age. So the internet was talking about it, right? Because he married Angela July 30th of 2016. So this year will make, what's that, 9 years? But at the time of filming would have been 2024. So 8 years. They've been married for 8 years, right? So shout out to my girl from Reality Recap. she had commented on it. She talked about this, right? Baby, Miss Angela's not having it.
Mrs. Angela Oakley stopped into my comment.
Let's get into it.
It's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another mini tea talk.
Hey,
session,
V.
Because today, Mrs. Angela Oakley stopped into my comments. Let's get into it. Now, last night I dropped a video alleging that there is a chance that Charles Oakley had some type of love child based on the comments that Angela said on the last episode, or actually the episode before that, about their family tree. Now I'm going to read to you exactly what Angela said on that episode, and I quote, I have Amari, who's 24, Yvonne, who's 11, and Charles has Charlie Jr., and we share Arlie, who's 7. The age of Charlie Jr. was not mentioned, and if you read into what she said, or just simply what was said on the show without even reading into it, it seems as though she gave the children in chronological order as far as they're from oldest to young. However, Angela is saying that to do simple research, which I did, not really finding the age. Also, she's listed as his only wife.
I meant to show y'all this.
My DMs telling me about my research and also saying that Charles Jr. is a grown man. Facts are incorrect, and to stay tuned. Well, we're seated, Mrs. Oakley, because if that's not the perception that you wanted us to have, why did you say it like that? Not to mention, it also does not negate from the fact that man don't like you. But let's just say she's not the only one in my DMs with tea, but we'll save that for a few more episodes down. Shall we? So I'll be seated to see if Miss Angela Oakley proved me wrong. I would love for that to be wrong. Nobody wants your marriage to be doing badly. You confused us with your comments, so take ownership of that. Make sure y'all continue to tune in to Real Housewives of Atlanta every Sunday, and I'll continue to recap on Mondays. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's your girl V.
Now, this is what, so V did a video about it. Again, a lot of people were talking about it, and Angela hopped in her comments and said, sis, your tea is wrong, with a laughing face. If you did simple research, you could find his son's true age, ! With the emoji that's like, ah. She says, a lie is so much more entertaining than the truth. # stay tuned. I get it. I agree with her. A lie is much more entertaining than the truth. However, I consider myself a pretty good researcher of age and everything like that. When I tell y'all, I was Googling, looking, just, what is his age? Because she didn't say it out of curiosity. Nothing, not a thing. I could not find it. I think that people coming into reality TV need to learn that things will come out. Things will get exposed. And I guess she feels like, had she said his age, let's just say he's 10. Had he said his age, people will be like, if he's 10, that means he was born in whatever year. Like, people could do math, right? So maybe that's why she didn't say his age. One could say maybe his mother doesn't want his age out there. But then I also wonder, but then why would she be okay with his picture? Because they showed him in the picture, right? So I feel like Angela, she may not have done it purposefully. Like, she may not have set herself up purposefully, but she set herself up to be asked questions. Because I know that was the first one. I was like, why she didn't say his age? And then she talks about them separating. They got married in 2016. They separated because he had a hard time dealing with his altercation. Now, at Madison Square Garden, and she said she couldn't heal him. Now, I also, when she was talking about calling down to the concierge, did she say they lived in the same building, or was that before they lived in the same building? Either way, I do kind of feel like what my impression of when she said that was that she was trying to keep tabs on him. But what do y'all think? Did y'all think that her saying she was calling down, she was trying to keep tabs on him, or that it was something else? Y'all let me know. Wendy Williams entered the chat, but she entered the chat back in 2020, which is something else I had wanted to talk to y'all about, because now it's making its rounds. So Angela is saying that V from Reality TV Recap, her tea is wrong. People are speculating that possibly maybe Charles Jr. was conceived when Angela and Charles were married. She's saying, girl, your tea is wrong. Let's see what Wendy Williams had to say back in 2020.
Suzanne, I was at a party with he and his wife one time.
Yes.
And when I was leaving and, getting myself together, gathering my belongings. So I said goodbye to Charles. And then she came over and said goodbye. And she gave me a hug. And then she whispered in my ear, she said, can I tell you something? I said, what? She goes, Wendy, it's only a baby. Oh, you can work this out. And I looked at her like, has this ever happened to you? So she said, yes. I said, did you work it out? And she pointed over to Charles and said, yes. I said, well, then you're more forgiving than me.
Let's go back to that.
Suzanne, I was at a party with he and his wife one time.
Talking about Charles and Angela.
When I was leaving and, getting myself together, gathering my belongings. So I said goodbye to Charles. And then she came over and said goodbye. And she gave me a hug. And then she whispered in my ear, she said, can I tell you something? I said, what? She goes, Wendy, it's only a baby. Oh, you can work this out. And I looked at her like, has this ever happened to you? So she said, yes. I said, did you work it out? And she pointed over to Charles and said, yes. I said, well, then you're more forgiving than me.
So unless Wendy is making it up, that may confirm what everyone has been saying, or not everyone, but what people have been speculating. Like, now, wait a minute. What's going on here? We'll see if it comes out on the show, if Angela addresses it in any interviews, if anyone asks her about it in interviews. We shall see. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Did that scene catch your eye? Or did that scene make you like, or were you like scrolling on your phone? Because some of y'all have said that, Atlanta is your phone show, where, we all have those phone shows where we're on our phones, we're listening, watching, but still on our phones. But those of y'all that watched it, did y'all pick up on the fact that she named all the kids' age except for Charles Jr.? Let me know what y'all think. Sis is in these comments, honey. I will say this, I do like Angela. She reminds me of an old school type housewife. Like, I believe she could have been on the show with Sheree and Nene and Kenya and all of them. And I do also believe she fits in with these girls. So we shall see. Let me know if y'all are watching. There is a decline in the demographic 18 to 49. So it seems less and less are. I'm going to continue to watch it. I can say that I'm enjoying it because I'm taking it for what it is. I'm taking off my expectation of it to be like old Atlanta. I'm taking off people, like, we know these housewives have a role. They have a role in quotes to film. Phil, you have your villain, your peacemaker, you're this, you're that, whatever. I don't believe housewives need villains. Like, just let people be who they are. Some of them may have more villain type behavior than others, but I'm taking off me saying, well, that's the Nene, or that's the Kenya, or that's the this. And I'm just watching who we have and see what happens. Y'all let me know what y'all think about everything we talked about. The Angela of it all. The Porsha of it all and her cheap shots, because that's what it's called. That's the drinking game called Cheap Shots. And y'all let me know about Dennis and Ralph. I feel like I can tolerate Dennis more over Ralph. Like, if I had to pick one of them to see on the TV, I would rather see Dennis than Ralph, if I had to pick. But I don't know. Y'all let me know. Will y'all be watching their get together? Ciao. I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.